If you have already tried a standard torso doll, you probably have one very practical question. Is an active suction version actually worth the upgrade? Today we are taking a closer look at the Salorein Active Suction Series. And the point here is not simply adding another button or another feature. The real idea is to take a static experience and make it feel more active, more responsive, and more engaging. We will walk through what it feels like in actual use, how the 5 intensity levels work, how the dual-use design fits into the experience plus noise level cleaning, and who this series is really made. First, let's talk about where this series fits. This is not just a basic model built around appearance. It is made for users who want a more advanced experience than a standard torso doll can usually offer. A standard torso doll focuses primarily on physical sensation. The Salorein Active Suction Series is designed to add a more realistic sense of response. Instead of only giving you a fixed internal structure, it creates a changing fit with more noticeable suction, pressure, and rhythm during use. For users who already own a standard torso doll, that upgrade is easy to understand. The value is not in complicated specs. The value is whether you can feel the difference as soon as the function starts. The core selling point of this series is the more realistic grip created by active suction. Standard models rely mostly on the softness of the material and the internal texture to create fit. Once the suction function is turned on, the Salorein Active Suction Series feels more active and more intense. It is not just a little extra vibration, and it is not a surface-level feature. It is designed to simulate the natural contraction feel of an aroused vagina, creating stronger suction, more responsive pressure, and a fuller enveloping sensation. What you'll notice first is how quickly the active fit becomes obvious. The internal feedback does not feel fixed or passive. It grips, releases, and responds again, which makes the sensation feel more focused and the stimulation feel more direct. Many users describe this kind of feedback as intense, realistic, and immediately different from a standard static model. At the same time, the strength does not feel harsh just for the sake of being strong. What really stands out is the balance between intensity, rhythm, and comfort. The suction is clear, the responsive grip is direct, and the surrounding contact feels deeper, but it is not just brute force. The changing pressure helps the sensation build in layers. For experienced users, this is the biggest difference between a standard model and an active suction model. A standard model feels more fixed. The suction series gives continuous feedback. It shifts the experience from passive contact to a more responsive feel, which makes the overall experience more engaging, more realistic, and more impactful. The series offers 5 intensity levels, and we think that matters. Everyone has a different comfort range. Some users prefer a lighter, steadier fit. Others want stronger, more direct suction and fuller contact. The advantage of 5 levels is that you do not have to start at the highest setting. You can begin lower and gradually find the range that feels best for you. The lower levels are better for getting used to the sensation. The middle levels are likely to be the most comfortable range for many users, with clear feedback that does not feel excessive. The higher levels are designed for advanced users who want stronger suction, more direct pressure, and a more pronounced rhythm. So this is not one fixed intensity trying to fit everyone. It gives control back to the user. A good experience is not only about being strong. It is about strength you can control and rhythm you can adjust. Another practical advantage is that the series does not depend entirely on the powered function. With the function turned off, the internal fit is still solid enough to use like a standard torso doll. When the function is turned on, the responsive suction and rhythmic feedback bring the experience into a more advanced category. That dual-use design makes the series more flexible. You can keep it simple when you want a more straightforward experience, or turn on the suction function when you want a stronger, more involved feel. For experienced users, that flexibility makes the product more useful over time and helps it stay interesting beyond the first few uses. The series also includes vibration support. Vibration is not the main feature here, but it does add another layer to the overall feedback, especially when combined with active suction. Noise control is another advantage. The perceived noise level is around 45 decibels, which keeps it relatively discreet in actual use and helps reduce that obvious mechanical feeling. For waterproofing, the series is rated IPX6, so daily cleaning is easier and more convenient. With this type of product, cleaning matters a lot because it affects whether users actually want to use it regularly. This series does not make maintenance much more complicated than a standard model, and both cleaning and storage remain user-friendly. So who is the Active Suction Series best for? First, it is for users who have already tried a standard torso doll and want a more noticeable upgrade in feedback. You will be able to feel the difference between static contact and active suction much more clearly. Second, it is for users who care about a more realistic grip and a more active response. The point is not simply more intensity. The point is a closer, more rhythmic, more interactive enveloping sensation. Third, it is for users who want adjustable control. With 5 intensity levels and a dual-use design, you can choose a lighter experience or a stronger one depending on what you prefer. If you are only looking for the lowest budget option, or if you do not need powered features at all, this may not be the first choice. But if you already understand the limits of a standard model and want something stronger, more realistic and more layered, the Active Suction Series is a serious upgrade to consider. Overall, the core of the Salorein Active Suction Series is not appearance alone, and it is not just vibration. It is the combination of active suction, adaptive grip, fuller contact, and adjustable intensity that creates a more advanced experience. It adds active response to a standard static design and makes the upgrade more noticeable for experienced users. Going forward, Salorein will continue using real user feedback to improve future styles and feature experiences. For more product breakdowns, comparisons, and real use insights, subscribe to the Salorein channel and stay tuned for the next video.